Okay. That was
Disastrous.
disastrous. Hopefully this does a little better.
Yes. So we've been having a couple of issues with our internet today, or just the live stream hasn't been able to connect. So sorry about that, guys. But
Hopefully you'll find this link. Hopefully it gets served out.
yes.
So what were we saying? Let's just jump right back in, or let's just jump in.
I think we wanted to start this live stream today and just address something that's been
We've been
on our
talking
minds.
about a lot lately.
Yes, a lot. And that's body shaming. And that's something we have been seeing lately. Actually, since we've started, really, there's always been comments. I mean, it's the internet. What do you expect, right? There's always some sort of trolls or negativity that will come. I mean, that's expected. But we wanted to address this because I feel like it's time to actually
Talk about it.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. We thought about making videos that should just sort of like vent a little bit, but we try to kind of like keep things really positive and hide from the controversy and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is that up until we started this channel, I've heard about body shaming, and we thought it was only towards overweight people. And then once we launched this channel, and especially once we started talking about our vegan diets, and the food that we eat and the fuel that we put into our bodies, people have been making connections with our diets to how skinny we are, especially Juliana.
Or just like skinny, or even being like, oh, you have bags under your eyes, you look so frail. And they just make these assumptions about us from basically what they see on the screen. And firstly, you know, just to come across like what we do for YouTube, we pretty much just share our lives. You know, we're not in a studio. We don't have this beautiful lighting and makeup artists that make us look, you know, glowing and perfect. Like sometimes we're in, you know, Tibet and all we've survived was like rice and veggies for 2 weeks. And of course, like you go through ups and downs in your health, and everyone does. I think that's just part of your journey. And, you know, for us to be documenting it and then people making these judgments and assumptions because of our diet, that is how we look like.
And just because we eat differently, that doesn't connect to any kind of. And the fact is, like when they're like, "Oh, look at your videos when you started." I mean, we've been doing YouTube for almost 4 years now, so it's like we're just getting older. Like that's really how it goes. Like we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, and for the record, like we are very healthy and we feel vibrant, and we've actually been the healthiest we've ever been in our lives.
More so than ever. And this kind of came to a peak. Actually, this is coming to a peak. I think we're talking about it because Detoxify is actually coming out tonight.
Midnight.
Which is crazy because we put so much energy into this program, and it's a plant-based eating program with yoga, and it's something that's really close to our heart, and we truly believe that this kind of detoxification process is something we live daily, and it benefits us so greatly. We talked about this a little bit on the live stream, but the thing is that if we can share it with someone, and maybe it won't work for everybody, but if it works for anyone out there, one of you people, anyone, any person out there, it makes it all worthwhile. And it makes like something that benefited us, sharing that. That's to us what makes the internet so special.
It is, and it's about sharing. And you know, maybe we're not a food channel. Obviously, Boho Beautiful is a lifestyle, yoga, fitness, you know, diaries, everything you guys get. But of course, we're not just making food recipes all the time. But we really see diet and food as one of the most important aspects of health. You know, you can do as many Pilates and yoga workouts and all of these things, but if you're not fueling yourself properly, if you're not nourishing your body in all the ways it needs to be nourished, you're not going to be seeing the results, and you're not going to be feeling the best that you can be. So the big inspiration about everything that we do, and especially with this program Detoxify, is to give you guys an opportunity to try and fuel your body. Not that you don't, but to give you some guidance if you need guidance.
If you want to try something
different. To fuel your body properly, include that with the yoga and the workouts that you do personally, and then see how your body reacts to it. So it really is just sharing what worked for us and sharing it with the community, and whoever loves it, enjoys it, and takes benefit from it, that's amazing. Or, you know, even if you're just doing the yoga portion or the food portion, which will be available for you tomorrow to do if you want to, just do half of it, that's totally great as well. But I don't know.
Yeah, we just
needed to get that off the chest.
But it's important. I think the overarching idea of it is body shaming comes in all sizes, and no matter what, wherever it comes from, and whatever it's focused at, whether it's the bags in someone's eyes, the fact that they're overweight, the fact that they're too skinny, the fact that they're not this enough or that enough. It's about holding people accountable to a standard that you think is a standard.
Yeah.
And there is no standard. There's all of our own bodies and all of our own vibrance. And that's truly, at the end of the day, all that really matters is how you feel. And we know how we feel. And hopefully, next time any of us think about making a comment or thinking about telling someone how you believe they feel, maybe we can think twice about it.
And I also think we need to look at each other as a human family, you know, and like as people, we shouldn't be bringing each other down. We should be doing the opposite and helping each other and lifting each other up. So even if it's not us, but, you know, someone else out there, or, you know, there's so many people that struggle, whether it is with eating disorders or whether that is with weight management. Instead of poking holes and trying to make someone feel worse about themselves, we need to take back and how can I help that person? You know, maybe instead of making fun of them, you can ask them what do they need or how can you support one another. I think once we start to change the way our brain works in that way, instead of bringing out more negativity, stepping back and seeing how can I bring more positivity in this situation. If you think, oh, this person needs some help, or, you know, obviously everyone judges one another. It's something we can't say, we need to all stop judging. Like, it's human nature. We will look at something and your body judge it, or sorry, your mind judge it.
Well, it's a comparative reaction. We compare ourselves, and we all have inadequacies. We all feel certain ways about ourselves. When we see other people, it allows you to give like a mirror, like how do I line up with that? And then emotional reactions happen, and they're not always accurate. So we have to lay off that and do our best as conscious beings to be more mindful that each person is in their own life and struggling with their own battles, and we all individually have our own to fight, and if we focus on ourselves rather than focus on other people, maybe the world might be a better place, and focus on supporting other people. I don't know. I think we've gotten off topic. We just wanted to address it and say we feel great. We're offering plant-based food because it's helped us feel better than we've ever felt in our life.
And if we hope that it does the same for you.
And if it doesn't, that's okay too. That's the beauty of the internet. Just go to watch the next video. It's not a big deal. It's all good.
Exactly.
It's all good. So yes, so let's start this out. Hello everybody. Welcome to our live stream for the day. 2 weeks ago we did one of these and it went really well.
Yeah, people really liked it, and we got so many comments and messages saying you guys should do it more often. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll bring you into our world, and you know, we're kind of right now in the middle of prepping for a big trip. We're going to be shooting our next program, and we're also going to do a lot of like class shooting, and we're going to Nicaragua and possibly Costa Rica. We might be shooting in Costa Rica. And so we thought, okay, well, why don't we bring you guys in and ask you some questions, because we'd love to hear from you. And I've already been seeing so many comments about you guys giving requests, and that's great. And I think the reason for it as well is that we want to constantly think of ways to make our channel better and give you guys more value from it in regards to classes. So if there's any particular classes that you want to see, like, obviously let us know.
Well, in regards to any kind of content, because it's interesting, we make such a variety of content that we're never really sure where to put our energy next. So if it's just choosing the type of yoga class, we could sit there for an hour and talk about which one we should do next, and sometimes we do. But then it's like, oh, but should we do a Pilates class, or oh, should we do a meditation, or should we work on like a commentary video, or should we do a travel, and it goes on and on and on. So we thought that if we did this, and you guys could leave comments in the side there, that might help us come back afterwards, and we'll go through all of these comments and sort of like get a good sense of what people are saying. If there's good ideas we've never thought of, or if there's one general idea that keeps coming through, then that would be the most valuable thing to us, is to be able to serve better and more effectively, I think, right? And as well, I mean, I'll start reading some of your guys' comments now. We'll answer some questions and maybe just have like a little discussion on things.
Because we didn't actually prep anything for this
No,
live
last
stream
time we
today.
had like papers.
We're
and
like, we're going to talk about these particular subjects, and you guys gave us questions ahead of time. But for this one today, it's really casual. We're just going to hang out and chat and answer whatever comes out. There's a lot of questions, so I'm sorry if we don't get to your question. We'll just kind of pick and choose and go from there.
Yeah. So and again, it's I guess yeah. So leave us anything, and if we miss you now on the thread, we'll come back to it. There's also like a super chat. There's a super chat that you can donate money. Just saying, to put your comment on a highlight. We'll definitely, if you highlight a comment, we'll definitely address it, for sure, 100% in this super chat. But if not, like, no big deal. We'll kind of go through it. It's amazing. I'm seeing people like from Barcelona and from
You
Poland
guys are from
and
everywhere.
from Greece.
It's
Everyone's from such a.
How amazing is the internet that we could literally just sit in our little chairs and be connected with like the whole world. It's really cool.
Yeah, from Mexico.
Mexico, Russia.
And such wonderful
Здравствуйте.
comments. Oh, it's Russia time.
Ukraine.
Okay, well, some people, I've noticed a few people asking about how to start doing yoga from zero, like sort of beginner kinds of tutorials, and I saw a yoga pose comment coming through. Hey, someone's from Victoria, BC. We're up in North Saanich, actually. Look at that. Oh, and
Buddy.
we got ourselves a dog coming in.
Okay, so starting out, where did you go? Oh my God. He's bringing in the man. The man is here.
This is Prince, everybody. Hi, guys. I'm Prince. That's last time Prince picked the winners for our contest on Instagram, but this time
he didn't want to partake in that.
He's too tired. Whenever we take him on hikes, he comes back and then just sleeps for the rest of the day.
It makes us sad though too, because he's like gonna be 8 in February, so.
All right, go, buddy, go.
I don't know. I always get sad thinking about his age because, you know.
He's a Rottie and they don't.
He's a Rottie and he's a big dog, and they usually say they don't live past 10 or 11, so. Anyways. Okay, let's go back to the question. So starting yoga from scratch.
Well, that's not really a question. Okay, here's a question. Do you travel with your own juicer?
With our own, no, we don't. Our juicer that we have at home is like so heavy and huge that
It's an Omega, which is it's really
a great brand actually, yeah.
We bought it like 8 years ago, and it actually only one little piece broke that we had to reorder it a month ago. So it's amazing. It came with like a lifetime or a 10-year or a 20-year warranty or something like that, which was it was amazing that it lasted so long.
So we use that here, but then whenever we're traveling, we find any sort of juiceries we can.
Yeah.
And usually that works.
What are y'all horoscopes?
I'm a Taurus.
And I'm a Gemini. And which is an odd combination, I think. I'm not sure if Taurus and Gemini naturally are so compatible, but we don't really, I don't know. I guess we don't necessarily believe about the compatibility of it because we see exactly how compatible we are. Does that make sense? But yeah, being a Gemini with the two sides, I think it's great. And I keep Juliana here on her toes, that's for sure. What's your favorite holiday, Juliana? From F. Watkins.
What is my favorite holiday? I do like Christmas, but not for the materialistic side of Christmas, but because I find the world stops and everyone just gets in with their families and we get to spend time with our families. I'd say that's my favorite holiday.
That's fair. I'm not sure what mine is. I liked World Vegan Day yesterday.
It's not a holiday.
We tend to actually bypass a lot of holidays. It's funny. We're always very busy and we're always very much focused on ourselves and on our work. And we find a lot of the holidays don't necessarily speak to us in a lot of traditional ways, but we just love spending time with our families. So if it's a great excuse to spend time with our families, we will.
Yeah. There was a question about pregnant, Dana Marie asked about pregnant lady classes. I love that. And we've had a lot of requests for prenatal classes, and that's definitely something on the list that I want to start creating for you guys. For me, personally, like when I've done a couple yoga trainings, but anytime I've ever done any sort of yoga trainings, the prenatal portion is so small that they're just kind of like, oh, these are, the contradictions, like make sure pregnant women don't do this. And for me, I find to be able to create a prenatal class for people to do, I want to be 100% that you're actually getting full benefit of it. So one of my goals for 2020 actually is to take a workshop on prenatal yoga so I can get like a like an actual certification in it and be able to guide all the ladies that are pregnant through a safe yogic experience. So at the moment, no, there won't be prenatal classes, but definitely like come early 2020, once I find the moment to take some training in that, I definitely am excited to bring prenatal yoga.
It's a massive, massive request.
It's huge. We get it all the time. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I feel there's a responsibility. People look after you and you guys follow classes, and I don't want to just have 2 hours of prenatal training and be like, okay, now I'm going to teach pregnant women how to do yoga. Like, no, it's a whole process. So it's coming. That's what
It's coming. Someone asked if I would do a class for man yoga called Moga, which I thought is pretty funny.
Or Joga.
I think we answered this last time as well, saying as soon as we get our editing down more efficiently, then we'd love to bring up more content. And then, yeah, I think we're thinking about putting out a ton more classes in 2020, but not spending as much time editing them.
Yeah, so we're thinking actually shorter classes,
but
more frequently.
Yeah, more frequent short classes,
Yeah.
but still maintaining our pace of long classes.
Yeah.
Right?
So it'll be a combination of both, but we've also seen a really good feedback of people wanting like a 10-minute, Pilates class or a 15-minute quick yoga workout or something more gentle. And so we thought, hey, like what if we up our content and maybe do less, we really love to go all out and create beautiful intros and show you landscapes. Not that we're not going to do that. We're going to still continue to do that. But maybe if we inserted into that weekly schedule of classes, a couple more shorter practices that are maybe a little less extravagant, but give you what you need.
Just to give more value more frequently. Because it's really hard to pick one video a week.
It is.
It's to be like, what if we have one bullet this week to shoot? What is it going to be? And it's just like, I don't know, because you want to serve as many people as you can, but you also want to help people with specific issues. So this week we actually have a back video coming out that we're doing from Guise, which is really great because
that's actually been another huge request. A lot of people suffer with back injuries, always come to us and like, hey, do you have any good yoga classes to help me with sciatica pain, herniation, or whatever it'll be with your back? So we're always trying to give you guys what you need, so we have a nice back practice coming your way, and it's pretty short too.
Yeah, it's shorter than the last one.
It's only like 13
minutes.
13 minutes, but it's something quick that you don't have to invest so much time into. But if you do every single day, it'll help your back tremendously.
Yeah. How about tips for more energy? Jessica Harvey. I don't know if she's saying that we should do a tips for more energy video, but we could give some tips for more energy here.
I think for more energy, we like to supplement, but not in like supplements, but just including things into our smoothies. We like to start our days with smoothies actually, and I always pack our smoothies up with, for example, maca powder. Maca powder is an incredible energy booster. Sulforaphane, which is like the sprouted broccoli seeds, also give you an intense amount of energy.
Actually, Dr. Rhonda Patrick talks a lot about sulforaphane. We got onto this, I don't know, probably about a year ago at this point. And ever since we started using sulforaphane, we've seen such an incredible lift. You can put frozen broccoli sprouts in a smoothie, and it's like having it's like getting a caffeine boost, but without the come down.
So great, and like natural energy boost.
Which is great. So sulforaphane is amazing. We also actually fasting. I do it more than Juliana, but I would say half the week at least you intermittent fast, which tends to by skipping breakfast and by not eating late at night, by having a window of time that you eat, usually 8 hours is how it's done. So it's 16 hours off, 8 hours of eating. When your body is able to reserve its energy for digestion during that eating window, and it allows it to put its energy into other places when you're outside of your eating window. So our mornings are like super powered, and it's not because we do drink coffee, which when we'll put MCT oil in it and super mushrooms.
MCT powder actually is really good.
Yeah, you like that. I don't like the powder.
He doesn't like it, but I do it. So it's MCT oil, which comes from coconut, but they make it in powderized format. So it's almost like a coffee creamer, but it's super healthy and it gives you a brain boost, which I love to take in the morning before starting work and everything, so it's good.
So it's really, I think the key for us is starting our morning right sets us up for energy in the day. So whether that's fasting, superfood smoothies, superfood coffees, and really having a diligent morning practice which is just regular exercise, whether it's yogic exercise or running. We do a lot of running, but as long as we set our day up to be effective in that manner, it seems like you just roll through the day properly. And lately, because we've been so busy with Detoxify, we've been missing out a lot on our morning routine. And it's funny because we're like, no, we have to get right to work. And so then we go and we skip, we do 10 minutes of yoga or a 10-minute run, and then, skip kind of like what we'd normally do on the supplement side. And we just get down and we just start working on Detoxify. And then all of a sudden, like, it catches up to you, because although you're getting that extra hour of work,
your brain and your body stops functioning properly.
Yeah,
I find like you're like,
the anxiety gets higher, and the stress of work becomes more heavy, and you don't think as clear, and you're a little more frantic and a little less focused. And it's really interesting. So we've realized even today we just had a really nice morning today.
Well, I got up earlier than usual, just to have that hour, because I know, we're really we're planning a new program right now for you guys and launching Detoxify. So it's a lot of things like happening at once. So finding that time to like center is super crucial. And I know we were very time sensitive today. So I'm like, okay, getting up an extra hour will help you find that. So, and that's something for you guys to take away. If you do have a very busy schedule, which I'm sure most people do, finding that hour either earlier or later at nighttime is so important, and turning everything off and just focusing on yourself and your practice, and it'll change your day. It's pretty amazing.
Michelle Middleton had a great question. Will the Detoxify program be compatible with intermittent fasting? Not sure if it's a meal plan or just recipe ideas. Can't wait to get started tomorrow. It's actually great because it's a breakfast and a dinner, Detoxify. And in the middle, we promote different recipes for smoothies and
or
juices.
juice.
So it's perfect because you could start your meal window it would work perfectly with intermittent fasting, where you start your breakfast right when your window opens, and then you can have a smoothie in the middle, and then end your day with the dinner.
Exactly, and that way you're putting all the food in that time window, which is perfect for intermittent fasting, and also starting your day with the yoga practice. Especially in Detoxify, all the yoga practices are very geared towards twisting and getting the detoxification process happening. So making sure that you are practicing on an empty stomach is crucial for that. And if you're not doing yoga in the morning, making sure you don't eat at least 3 to 4 hours before the practice, just to make sure everything is clear in the digestive system before you start really twisting.
Amazing. So E said hello from Salt Spring, which is awesome. We love Salt Spring.
I love Salt Spring.
Salt Spring Island, guys, is like the best favorite little nook of Canada in the world.
It's an island not far from here, and it's got such good energy, such good people. I love it.
Yeah, and she said she commented on the last one, but it's gone. So I'd love to learn more about different yogic breathing exercises. And that, if we start really pumping out more videos on a regular basis, would be something for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if does that make sense? Because it makes sense to us to make more, but like spend less time on it, so that we can hit more little niches. Because if we had one video a week and it was a yogic breathing video, like that only speaks to a certain part of the community, which is, it's not necessarily serving the greatest good, but it is serving a great good. Not to say it's not. What else we got here? What else is
There's so much. I'm like, my eyes are shifting from camera to questions a lot.
Wow. I'm just going through. How do you maintain love and compassion for people that are negative and not very nice? How do you keep sending them love and healing without letting my ego get in the way? From a happy soul.
So how do you maintain love and compassion for people that are not nice and negative?
And how do you continue to give them love and healing without letting your ego get in the way? That's a very, very good question.
It is very, very good question, because I think every single one of us struggle with it. No matter how much you tell yourself, oh, I'm a peaceful person, I'm a happy person, I'm loving kindness to all. Life is life, and life brings you challenges.
And we all have triggers, and we're all human.
We all have triggers, and like Mark says, we're human. And sometimes life brings you circumstances or people that are not in the same energy as you, or perhaps are negative, like you're saying.
I mean, I think it'll go two ways. I would think on one hand, sometimes people's energy just doesn't mesh with yours. And sometimes negative people, they need to sort their shit out, and then maybe you can re-interact together, because sometimes it's like butting heads. It's just like no matter what you say can make it worse, no matter what you bring into them or try to help them or give them, whatever it is, it doesn't always work. So I'm a big believer of cutting negativity out of your life if it's costing you more than you think you can get in return. Because it's just not fair. On the other side, empathy is the greatest.
Yeah, I think empathy in regards to understanding that each one of us is on a separate journey, you know, and maybe that person is on a journey where they're not connected right now.
And understanding we've all been there. We're all on a journey, and we're all dealing with our own problems. So to imagine, even if they're upset about something that it seems so surface level, there's usually something much deeper involved. And if you can take the empathy and use the compassionate side of your soul to understand that what they're dealing with isn't what it looks like, it's something else, and we have no idea. And it's not our place to understand it or know it, but it's our place to know that we all hurt and we all suffer, and life has its moments for every single human being. We will all be challenged and we all go through pain. And if you see someone going through pain, even if they're lashing out and using it as a weapon and they're weaponizing their pain to hurt you, sometimes it just takes a minute to realize they're not actually trying to cause pain, they're trying to heal their own pain.
And I think when the pain is too much for you, having to deal with that sort of negativity or that person, removing yourself from the situation might just be the only thing you should be doing at that point, and that's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to stay in bad situations, and you don't have to, like, one of the biggest keys to our life has been surrounding ourselves with positive energy and positive people, and making sure that people we bring into our life or into our business with Boho Beautiful or anything, that it's not just about who they are and what they can do, or any of the stuff that when we were younger we thought maybe that made good friends, or like how cool someone is, or you know what access they have to things, or all the stuff that is just so like it doesn't actually, it's like so again surface level. That what matters is that they prop you up, and in fact not just prop you up, but they give you something to aspire to. When I surround myself, and since we've surrounded ourselves with people that we admire because of their mindfulness and their compassion and their heart and their ability to always serve, and their loving light that shines through at all times, then that makes us shine brighter. It helps us. It shows us that it's possible. And that, I mean, that's everything.
That is. Let's keep moving, because we could get stuck on one answer and then we'll
and then we'll go forever. Oh my goodness. So just moving along. How do you start yoga on your own without having to follow a video every time? Juliana, that's a good one. From Abby B. How do you start yoga without having to do a video?
Every single time. I think becoming in tune with your body in the beginning is a great way, because your body will almost guide you on what you need. So starting your yoga practice in any sort of comfortable intimate position, like a child's pose, or you know, even just a seated lotus, or even lying down in shavasana. Like sometimes if you're having like a very hard day or long day and you need to really relax and like let that energy out, like starting in shavasana and placing your hands on your heart and just reconnecting, and then letting that reconnection guide you. So let's say you're feeling extremely tense in your chest and you've had a hard day, then maybe your practice will start to evolve in regards to more opening of your heart. And you know, it's easy to say when you kind of know what poses to do. So I understand another question would be like, well, how do you do it if you don't know like what to follow? And I think that would come with just regular practice, because the more you practice, the more muscle memory kicks in, and your body will slowly just know how to get to one pose to another. And then you kind of want to create your own transitions, and you then start to create your own art through your own body and your own flow. And then it becomes your own expression of your feeling and of your inner energy that day. I feel like that's what really yoga is. It's your own expression. And that's why you go to so many different classes, and every different yoga teacher will provide you a different experience, because that at that time, that class is an expression of them and you're following with them. So when it comes to personal practices, connecting deeper within and then practicing of expressing your own self through it.
That's amazing. And I think, no, it's true though. It's such, yoga is such a creative thing. And I think that the videos or going to class and taking mental notes about the poses that speak to you and the poses that feel great with your body and the ones that really challenge you, that make you feel really uncomfortable, because those usually are ones that you should be focusing on as well. Not just the ones that come naturally and that you can go the deepest with. So it's a creative expression and a process. And once you get on a mat without the safety net of a video, if you just play some music on, and if you fall back into the muscle memories of all the classes you've taken before, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be totally surprised.
I saw another question actually come up a few times, and I don't know if it was from the same person or not, but sorry, I lost it here. But it was a question about what type of yoga mat brands that we would recommend and what our favorite are. And that's a really difficult topic for us to actually talk about, you guys, and
especially these days.
And we've been really getting our brains spinning on possibly, maybe this is too early to talk about, but...
Well, okay, so put it this way. We started doing research into what's in yoga mats.
Yeah.
And two things started bearing a really heavy obviousness upon our conscience. And one was the effect that it has on the planet. And the number two was the effect that it has on our bodies. Because once you start researching, and we've teamed up with some great people recently to research this and to really go deep, you find out very quickly that most of the yoga mats have toxic chemicals put in them. Even the ones that are called eco mats. They all have PVC in them, and PVC is very harmful to human beings, and they're in the yoga mat when we're in our most vulnerable. As well, most of them don't biodegrade, and most of them are made with like chemicals that make it really difficult for any kind of positive impact to be put on their manufacturing process or not. So we've been really trying to figure out where the right mat is ourselves, because we know what we want in a mat as far as non-stick goes, and like to travel.
And that is a huge thing. Also, the slippery, the stickiness, I guess, of a yoga mat, and that's what a lot of people have issues with: is slip and sliding on their mats.
But we can't find one that meets all the, as we would call them, pillars of just like the ethics of what should be
and
something.
Transparency, I have to say as well, because what we've learned is a yoga mat can say they're eco or they're eco-friendly, but then when you really start to understand the ingredients, and that's something we've actually been researching a lot ourselves, and what are these ingredients actually mean, and how harmful is PVC or TPE, and you start to realize that a lot of these brands are not as eco as they say.
Well, PVC they're going to make illegal actually to put in them soon. If you just do some Googling, there's a really good article, I wish I knew what it was, but we had brought to our attention about a chemist that had taken all the top yoga brands and actually pulled them apart and done a study about what's in them. And if you start actually Googling that, you'll find that article probably, and it's shocking what's...
So how do we answer the question?
Well, we don't have a recommendation right now.
We don't.
We're still on the fence ourselves.
And we're going to be working on maybe potentially creating something ourselves.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out if it can be done.
Yeah, and if we can, then we want to create that yoga mat that is for real eco-friendly and planet, and human-friendly.
A kind yoga mat.
A kind yoga mat. So once we do, you guys will definitely be the first to know, obviously. But at the moment, it's hard. I mean, we have yoga mats that we use, yes, because that's all you can really find right now in the market. And those are, like, we've been using...
I don't know. I like the jades. I've always liked the jades. But again,
they're not as eco-friendly as they say they are.
Well,
but at this moment...
again, we're just trying to figure out the whole landscape. Because we get asked this question a lot. And we want to be able to answer it properly. Not just like, oh, we love this mat. Like, we want to understand why we love the mat.
Yeah, rubber mats are good, I guess. That would be the one thing. If you had to choose, is fully rubber is the better way to go than PVC.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, that's our yoga mat component. People have a lot going on to say about that. Does yoga help me lose weight? From Sonia.
Yes, it definitely does. But again, I mean, it depends on what losing weight is for you.
But it's mostly about diet in the end.
It is. And that's kind of what we said in the beginning. It's like you can do as many yoga workouts or just workouts in general. But if you're not fueling yourself properly, you're not going to see the results that you're hoping to see. So diet is definitely important, but of course, I mean, any sort of exercise is great for losing weight, 100%, if you're doing it properly and challenging your body.
For sure. And again, what kind of yoga you're doing. There's all kinds of yoga that's actually designed to help you lose weight.
Yeah.
I mean, our yoga workout classes alone, like they're pretty, like it's not necessarily just about that, but that's a huge benefit
It is a
if it's paired
benefit.
with the right diet.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure, right? I don't know. What else we got here? Can you make muscle mass from yoga? That's a good question. I guess it depends how many chaturangas you do. How many sun salutations can you do? I don't know. It's because those are push-ups. Can you build muscle mass
I've
from
done
push-ups?
108 once.
Wow, that's amazing.
In India, when I did my teacher training, they made us do 108 sun salutation. It took an hour and 20 minutes, I think, of doing that. I remember at that point I was like, oh my god, my arms are so weak by the hundreds.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's so great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of going up through the comments now. What else we got here? Anyways, guys, I see some really amazing suggestions for it throughout all of this, which is fantastic. Levi keeps asking about yoga for weightlifters.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting, and definitely something for, I guess, like upper body as well, and your hamstrings, because I'm sure weightlifters do a lot of hamstring work. Not that I'm a weightlifter, but that's a great idea. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good idea, right?
Yeah.
Good, I think so. Which YTT did you do? And which ones do you recommend? We're getting ready to post a video from Greece about that.
But that one's more about yoga retreats.
No, but we did 2 parts.
Oh,
The
okay.
second part was
we
all about
do.
our YTT.
Yeah, we'll post a video about that so we can really go in great detail. But I did my first teacher training in Costa Rica, and then my second teacher training in India. And then obviously I've done workshops throughout, mainly Canada actually, but yeah, we'll go into detail in the video. I'm not going to take too much time talking about it all right now, but good question.
Right. Maya said, how do you always smile when you're doing these hard workouts? It's true, actually. How do you do it? Tell us all. We all want to know.
Because I look at Mark, and sometimes depending where we are, it's just funny that it's happening. I remember when we were in Nepal and we were shooting a class like up on a mountain, and I'm like, not that I have a lot of layers because it's hard to do yoga in like hoodies and a jacket, but I remember I had like long sleeve, and I'm doing something and I look over and like it's like Mark, and he's just freezing, and we had like 2 of our friends there, like everyone is just dying, and I'm there, I can't feel my fingers, they're like, feel like I have frostbite, and I just looked at him and I was smiling. So I'm like, it just gets to a point where it was so funny.
Well, we get to be in such beautiful, amazing places while we do our work sometimes, and it's always very secluded, and it's always a really incredible energy as we create these kinds of things.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you get wrapped into that moment, so you're stressed about creating and shooting, and oh, the light, and where's the mat, and like all of these things that you forget to take a step back and realize, like, what are we doing? Like, we're shooting yoga videos on a mountain. Like, what's happening?
How did our life become like this?
How is this our life?
Right?
So, I don't know. It's good.
That's so funny. A couple people are talking about the art behind us.
Oh, the art.
Which is really cool. We don't buy a lot of stuff when we travel, but we found this painting
in Nepal.
In Nepal, in Kathmandu.
Yeah. And it was so beautiful, and it really spoke to us. And we bought it, and we like had to wrap it up and FedEx it over to Canada because
it's such a process.
It was such a process, but it was worth it.
I think the shipping cost the same amount as the painting.
I think it was more actually. Yeah.
It's amazing though. That's so funny. What else we got here? Let's keep on scrolling through. I've seen this a couple times today. How do you handle cravings?
Well, firstly, cravings when it comes to slipping when you're at home. Let's say, and I mean slipping by eating unhealthy food, kind of just snacking on it. And our biggest thing is just not having it in the house. So we will not buy anything that is junky, because as soon as you get into that mode where you're hungry and you kind of want a sugar fix or anything like that, you're gonna reach for that whatever, like unhealthy ingredient. Whereas if you stock your house and your fridge with more healthier ingredients, if you feel hungry or you need that sugar fix, you have fruit, or you have some dried fruits or whatever it'll be, or nuts. So you kind of eliminate it, I guess, from your reach.
So yeah, and I think,
And that's for the house.
the longer you do that, the longer you have no junk in the house, the more cravings you go through, which you fill with something else, which then reconnects the habit loop of the craving, because the craving comes most of the time from a part of your brain called the basal ganglia, which creates the habit loops, which creates, like, it's usually triggered by visual cues, any kinds of cues, smell cues, even like blood sugar level drop cues, like any kind of cue can happen, which triggers a habit loop, which your body knows how it's handled that kind of sensation before. So the key to getting out of slipping up is to reconnect the part of your brain that says, this is what I do when. And it seems crazy, you know, like people would always say, like, to people that are trying to quit smoking, to like eat carrot sticks or whatever. I don't know if that works, but I know that the minute we stop bringing, I don't know, like nachos with salsa into the house, and sometimes we still do, and that's not even that terrible for you. But the minute we stop doing that, we would find like some other kind of cracker in hummus, or we would find the celery and cut it up into pieces, or we would drink a glass of water instead of whatever terrible beverage we used to drink. And then the hydration and the sensation of hydrating with clean, pure water starts to reconnect the way you look at that craving the next time it happens, and eventually the craving then becomes for water. So it's a longer journey and it's a long play, but I mean, we're humans and we're built to like, we're almost programmed and wired in a way to fail, because our bodies always look for the easy fix. And so the more that you can stack the odds against failure, the higher your rate of success will be.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's a really good question though, because we have tons of little strategies and things that we've done, and we travel with things so like we always travel with food too, whenever we can.
Always,
so that
especially on planes, because I find
there's so much
on
crap.
an airplane, I mean, if it's a long flight, we usually request like a vegan meal, but even a vegan meal, you know, it's all processed and with so much sodium. And so a lot of the times we'll actually bring our own food on the plane, or definitely tons of snacks, and just sustain ourselves with our own food.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot coming through. It's amazing.
I think if we actually had to do every question, we'd probably be here for like 4
And
hours.
QT Yogini was just commenting on what we were saying by saying, exactly, once you clear your body of those less favorable foods, you will crave them less. Vegan for 30 years now. And that's right. You end up like, you wean off. You wean off the bad stuff. And then you actually, like, it happened to Juliana long before it happened to me, but she would crave fruit, because she replaced all of her sugary, like artificial sugary stuff that we used to eat with fruit. And I would see her, she'd just be like, I just need to eat fruit.
Well, I still eat
She
a
eats
lot of fruit.
And I'd be like, what? Like, whoever says
I
that?
eat more fruit than him.
Oh, way more.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and that was inspiring to me to see, because I was like, wow, she doesn't even actually like crave chocolates or crave all these other things. She's managed through time to replace it with something like a banana. Like, and it's possible. You just have to kind of rewire your brain and learn, and then you learn to appreciate it. It's great though. So yeah, I don't know what else we got going on here. A couple questions about kids. We talked about kids last time. This one's a good question about kids though, from Fuzzy Socks. If you had kids, would you want them to be a yoga star? I don't even know what a yoga star is, but I definitely know that we'd want them to do yoga.
Yes. Or sports, or any sort of activities. Mark and I both started our childhood and teenage years through sports.
Very high, her much higher competitive, but mine was competitive too.
Yeah, and I think starting at such a young age, I mean, I started rhythmic gymnastics when I was 7 years old, and that took me through a career till I was 17, where it was a little bit more extreme maybe than what I would even want our kids to be, because I went to like a special school where I only went to school till 11, and then I would train 8 hours a day. But it trained me such incredible discipline in my life that I took away once I retired as a gymnast due to some injuries. Once I transitioned and went into another career in my life, that discipline, that work ethic, all of these things that I learned at such a young age of being an athlete stayed with me for the rest of my life. And I think if we have children, when we have children, that is going to be one of the things we want to teach them, whether that is through yoga or whatever they feel passionate towards. Because that's another thing, we would never force anyone to do something that their parents did. It's more like, well, what do you find your passion for? What is your talent? And go after that. And as long as you apply yourself 100%, it's incredible how it can develop a child. And I've seen it as well in other children.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because when we think about our life sometimes, and we kind of take that moment, that beat, to be like, look what we've done. Like, look how where we were in our health and in our journey as humans and our evolution as individuals, and also in the physical state of where we were and what we were putting our energy towards. And we think about what we did to get to the point where we are now. Not that we're anywhere near complete, and not that we're even satisfied to the slightest, but we've come a long way. And it's strictly based, I think, on the discipline that we were taught and adopted at younger ages. Because no one tells us to get out of bed when we do and get to work. Like, nobody tells us to go shoot another program and to put out Detoxify, or we're going to Nicaragua next week to shoot another program. And then in the spring, someone was asking, all right, can you do a meditation program? We have another meditation program coming out in the spring.
We've got a lot.
But it's because we have this desire not just to create and to give, but also we have a passion for the focus and the feeling of being in the flow state of the discipline it takes to do it. And so, I don't know, that came from, would you want your child to be a yoga star? And we just want our child to be happy. And we know that we're relatively happy in our lives most of the time. And a lot of it comes from the way that we were raised with that discipline in our lives. Does that make sense?
I think it does.
So actually, let's talk about that meditation series from Andva. And because someone else was talking about the Tibet videos and things like that. When we were in Tibet, we actually did shoot a new program that we're really excited to put together.
It is, and it is a full 21-day meditation program. And it was very special to us because our goal with it was to shoot all over Tibet and to showcase all the most beautiful different landscapes that Tibet has to offer. And through that, bring in a meditation and just spread that mindfulness and peace and this incredible energy that we felt while we were in Tibet, and be able to at least share that through a program. So we shot it. We haven't completed it yet, and it's definitely on the list. We have a lot going on, so we know that we're not going to get to it probably till spring. But when we do, we're really excited to share that.
Yeah.
It'll be very special.
It's really great. And that time in Tibet was really special for us. And we want to donate the money that we generate from it to refugees from Tibet.
And different organizations that work with Tibetan refugees, because as you guys have seen, we talked about it on our diaries, but it definitely affected us in a different way being in Tibet, and we just want to be able to contribute in any way that we can to continue the conversation and to spread love and awareness to those people that are hurting right now and struggling with everything that's going on in that area. So
that's a delicate way to not get into it.
It is. I don't think we need to get into it today.
No, we don't need to get into it today. That's right.
Well, we're nearing an hour, so I think we got to start wrapping up. And you got 6% on your laptop.
Oh my goodness, I do. So maybe a few more questions, and that could be that. What's your view on raw veganism?
Raw veganism, I think it's great.
That's Hazel Keeney.
You
tried it.
I did. I tried a full raw vegan diet when we lived in Costa Rica, which was very easy when you live in that kind of environment when it's really hot and warm. For me personally, I feel like I would need a little more cooked food. Like, it didn't sit with my body as well as I was hoping for. Not to say that I would never do it again, but maybe just do it. I couldn't do it full time, I guess. And that was a personal experience for me, my personal physical reaction to it of not eating cooked food. But I think it's great. If it works for people, it's awesome.
And I think that's a really good segue, actually. Sage Kincaid has asked a couple times that she wants to go vegan, but she's told that it could be unsafe. And how do I accept that? She says she's trying to recover from anorexia. I have no idea. I can't speak as a doctor towards that. But I do know that trying different diets, and this is something we talked about at the very beginning with Detoxify, it's about how you feel at the end of the day. And there's a lot of information, and let's just say that doctors, I think the facts are that they take a very little amount of their time in nutrition to become MDs. And then nutritionists go to different schools that teach different schools of thought around nutrition and what is necessary. So we really believe that the proof is in how you feel. And if it is dangerous, and we don't know in your case for anorexia, we have no idea. But if it's dangerous, then maybe you should do your research and get second opinions and find out if it is. But if it's not actually dangerous, if it's not going to actually affect you in a way
based on your
your
health
current
issue,
position in health, we are high advocates of trying things for yourself and testing how it feels. Because the only thing, you can throw all the studies in the room, and you can put them all on the table, and they can all contradict each other, and everyone can argue to the death about what the facts of nutrition are based on all kinds of different studies, and who paid for the studies, and who did the studies, and how competent they are. All that leads to endless argument. But the one thing that no one can argue with is how you feel. And that's, to us, what we lean on when push comes to shove. With Detoxify and us putting forward a plant-based program to help people have an opportunity to try something different to see if it elevates them in their vibration. And also with veganism in general. It's been 8 years for us, and we feel better than we've ever felt. And no study and no person and no MD and no nutritionist and no person that's done it before and didn't work for can ever take that away from us. And that's really important, because the proof is only in your experience. So the proof is in our experience. I don't know.
I think that's a great way to say it.
I don't know. Anyways, so let's.
I've seen so many questions pop through, and I'm trying to read them, and I can't catch up. Sonia had a question about if we'll be shooting any 21-day challenges. We're definitely be shooting tons of new content very, very soon, and through that content we'll create some more challenges for you guys, because I've seen they've been really very popular and people seem to really like them. So definitely there'll be one coming soon.
Joan Katrina has asked a couple times if we'll come to the UK to do a yoga tour. We'd love to.
Love to.
I don't know how would we do that.
If the opportunity comes, sure, would love to.
Yeah, we'd love to. I mean, we'd love to come to Europe for sure. That would be amazing. Voice has asked a few times about how to get rid of parasites, and I don't even know how to. I have no idea. It's a good question.
I mean, a deep cleanse, like a colon cleanse, possibly. Again, I don't like to give medical advice here. I'm not a certified doctor or anything, but I've heard for other people that very deep, very intense cleanses can help with it. We've done one herbal cleanse where you have to take pills and supplements once, and that's called a wild rose cleanse.
I don't know if that would help with parasites, but as a cleanse, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you take a lot of pills and things like that, and you're running to the bathroom a lot, but you definitely feel good. So maybe that's something to explore, is any sort of herbal intense cleanses like that would help.
And then Nicole Feist has asked a few times, could you film a Pilates practice for osteoporosis? And Mark, can you film a practice on you handle your back issues? A daily routine would be awesome.
So for the back issues,
we'll definitely film that.
Well, we definitely film it, but we actually do have, we talked about it last live stream, but we have a video up on YouTube right now. What's that?
That we shot in Hawaii.
Yeah, that we shot in Hawaii.
And so that's there for sciatic pain, but I think when we get to more content in the new year, I think that'll be something that I'd like to focus on a series of videos, just because it was such a torturous thing for me to go through, and also then Juliana to support me as I went through.
And even in that video that we shot in Hawaii, a lot of the exercises that I do is actually the things that Mark did to help him with his extreme sciatica pain and his disc herniation. So those are the exercises that were given to him by a physiotherapist as well. So you know that they do them in therapy, and I included them through a very, very gentle yoga practice. So I think any level of yoga, if either you're a beginner or advanced suffering from back issues, can definitely benefit from the class. And that is an easy class that you can do every single day. Same with the class we'll be posting soon as well from Guise. It was also another yoga practice that was really focused on back care and helping people with back issues.
That's, this is a good one, actually.
Okay.
How are you guys feeling today? Let's close on that one.
Okay, that's a good close.
It's amazing.
Well, we can't close. We have to announce the winners.
Oh yeah. Okay. So how are we feeling today, though? I would say that we're pretty good.
We're good.
I think we're happy. I think we have a great level of consistent happiness today and in the last months of our life. I think we're worn down.
Yeah.
This Detoxify program has really taken a lot out of us.
It's been a long haul, and it's almost a celebration tonight when the clocks
It is a
12,
celebration.
because the program is out and we can just take an exhale and regroup.
Well, and we backed it right into leaving pretty soon to shoot our next program. And that's sort of, we've never done 2 programs in 1 year, let alone right next to each other. And I think that's causing, like, we're not even packed. Like, we're just like, so there's this, in the back of my mind, and I know we were talking about it earlier today, there's like this anxiety creeping. And so that's why we had an extra long practice for ourselves this morning.
And I think being aware of that anxiety is very, very important.
Yeah, because as long as you're aware it's coming, then it tends not to be able to take control. And then it just becomes an energy rather than like the driving force of what you say and do and how you act. And we're trying to maintain it, but I think really like this has been a pleasure, and I think the rest of the day will be just the same.
Yeah, it's always nice to do these live streams and connect with you guys, because I don't know, it makes everything feel more real. As weird as that sound, but you know, we just do these videos and we put them out, and you guys give us such amazing feedback on your comments, but when you're actually getting it live and people's questions are coming through, then I don't know, it's very special, and it really means a lot to us, guys, and your kind comments and your energy we feel it all the way even from the screen. I truly feel it, so thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So where do I find the winners on here? So we have some winners on Instagram. We ran a contest. We were giving away 10 programs.
10 free programs, plus a friend, so technically it's like 20
because we thought it was important to give the gift, not just for someone to win it for themselves.
Yeah.
So to give the gift of health, or to give the gift of detoxifying yoga, or to give the gift of being able to try a plant-based diet.
Exactly. So on our last post, we asked you guys to tag people. So we're gonna read out the winners, and if you're not on this live stream, that's totally okay, because we're going to Instagram direct message you as well and give you a coupon code to use and get a free program.
So I'll just read not the tags, but I'll read the name that was on your account from the selections. There's Andrea Kovacic. I think it's Kovacic. Ali Cat. Michelle, which is at Precisely Michelle. Miriam Valkyrie. Tasha Marie. Not available, which is actually at Man and Lucy.
And then Karim Kanali, and then Laura Lee, Eve, which is at Constellation_Eve, Jessica Fletcher, and Nicolette Byro.
There you go. There's our winners, guys. Congratulations.
Yay.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram. We really like doing these contest things. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool to see. We actually one of the things that was a little self-serving to us was we wanted to see vegan restaurants. So we asked everyone to tie a vegan restaurant or
now
a vegan restaurant.
I think we got like 600 comments from people, and we have all these vegan restaurants all over the world.
So we're gonna try and pull them out and put them in a document so that
then we know where to go.
Anyways. But thank you guys.
Yeah, this has been awesome. This has been super fun, and it's great to connect with all of you guys. And thank you for all of your suggestions. I know there's been a lot coming through the comments section.
We're gonna mine through them all and sort of again put them into something where we can make sense of it all.
And now once we're off to our trip, we're gonna keep that list with us and be able to create some new exciting content for you guys, especially for 2020. So you have a fresh new videos to start your year with.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and hopefully we'll do another live stream soon and we can connect this way again.
Let us know again how you like this, because it's weird for us. We love it. It's kind of weird. It's a little awkward, but at the end of the day, we'd like to do it more. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. All right, guys. Lots of love, and we'll talk soon. Bye.